without further ado, I'm going to hand over, therefore, to Fredrik Gulafsen from Norway, who really founded, he's waving at us and raising his hand. He started a wonderful platform called Nubi, probably around a decade ago, and we'll hear more about it now. Over to you, Fredrik.
Thank you so much for introduction. Thank you so much for having me. I'll share a presentation here and then see if you can see my screen, all of you, right now, right? Yeah.
Wonderful.
So quickly about me, I'm Fredrik Gulafsen. I'm from Norway. I've been doing tech startups for many years, actually, but also I've had a little brother that became more and more ill for many years, and now he does not live anymore. And that made me reflect a lot on how we organize care in our society, which is the spark and the idea behind the Nyby. And it's not just us in Nyby that reflects on how we organize care. That's also the topic of today's seminar, and a big concern for all over Europe, actually, that we, due to the aging population, increase the need for care, and at the same time we have fewer and fewer working in the labor force, which means that we need to become really effective if a part of what we earn should go to someone organizing someone in a different silo, in a different sector, to take care of everyone we love. So it's a big question, how do we organize the care in the future? And it's lots of initiatives now, especially the last decade, on how can we squeeze the lemon even further, increase the efficiency among healthcare workers. It's also lots of initiatives on welfare technology and on robots. Maybe robots can replace humans, right? We are thinking very differently in Nyby, because both of these initiatives and tracks with more efficiency and more technology also have flip sides with loneliness and so on. So what we have done in Nyby is that we joined up with quite a few R&D partners from public sector, and we have created a new type digital platform, which we call Platform for Resource Collaboration. And that platform enables healthcare employees to free up time for care workers and get more support to those who need it, but not by robots, but by connecting people and by unlocking the power in the existing communities. So it's now more than 50 local authorities and organizations that use Nyby as a platform, and it's used among institutions, home care units, but also job training, unemployed, volunteers, inclusion and integration initiatives, and next of kin communication. And we are mainly, of course, in Norway, because that's where we're from, but also we have quite a few municipalities in Sweden, and also pilots now starting in Denmark and Germany. But even though Nyby is used then for many different applications and for resource collaboration, point is to in healthcare especially, there are too few hands, but in the other sectors, it's too many. And so Nyby's purpose is to connect the needs in healthcare with the underutilized resources in the other juridical sectors. But even though it's used for many different sectors, we always start with healthcare. And we start with when we start with a municipality or healthcare organization, we always start with asking two questions. What kind of services do you spend time on today that could have been done by others? And also next question is, what kind of needs do you see among your patients that could have had great preventive effect and increased quality of life, but maybe stuff that you can't afford spending time on today? And we don't need, typically we don't have to ask for very long, because that is one of the time squeeze that healthcare personnel are in today, that they see so many needs that they're not able to fulfill because they're on a very tight schedule. So the municipalities and organizations that start using Nyby, they make it easy to ask for help, especially then for healthcare employees. And equally important, they make it easy to contribute for underutilized resources. That can be healthy pensioners qualified by the volunteer centrals or Red Cross or similar, or it can be youngsters at work training and work practice, or it can be other vulnerable groups that need some low threshold entry into labor life in order to be empowered. So what we see is then we get significant win-win effects by connecting these silos and sectors. Because then you can free up time for healthcare workers and get better and more services for the most vulnerable. And you can contribute to increased inclusion and reduced loneliness at the same time. So the task, what is a task for some, becomes a huge opportunity for others. And just to have some, it's each municipality organization that decides what kind of services they want to collaborate on. But typically what we see in all the countries we're in is practical help, errands. It has been a lot of needs now during COVID, of course, but also to be accompanied to vaccination, to doctor and so on, but also just social and exercise, which can be both on phone or physical. I can talk about NIBI for 24 hours in one go, but you'll find lots of inspirational stories and videos and so on from municipalities and organizations around Scandinavia on our web pages. Also important to mention is when we look at value potential together with municipalities, it's a huge value potential by connecting the needs and resources across here, which is very important for setting aside the necessary implementation power in each organization. And what kind of makes all this possible is that we have been very much inspired by sharing economy and how the peer-to-peer and direct connections has been able to unlock all the underutilized resources, which we have seen, for instance, in Airbnb. And that is the low transaction cost when you can connect those with a need directly with those who will contribute. But NIBIs and the welfare states in Europe is very, very different from a marketplace for hospitality services. So what we have spent lots of time on since 2015 when we were founded is to make it secure so that you have the right qualifications and you have the transparency needed and with sensitive information and all the stuff that you need in order to be able to connect different juridical landscapes and also guidelines, juridical guidelines and stuff like this. And we can thank this product a lot for unique R&D partnerships with the public sector without spec. We can talk about it more in the panel after, but the importance of being able to work agile instead of specified from the start. Just at the end here, we see kind of the technology is one thing and we're a technology company. So of course, that is an important issue. But the product is just one part. Equally important we see is the process and implement how you change the organization to go from one way of working into a new way of working. So the implementation of new processes, but also we see a lot of benefit on experience sharing from municipalities to municipalities, even across borders. It's lots of the same situations. Yeah, you can find more white papers and deep stories online. And feel free to contact me, of course, for anything, both in the chat here and anytime. Yeah, thank you. Look forward to the discussion after.
Well, indeed. And for that reason, Frederick and I would very much encourage you to ask questions in the chat, and we will gather those together and we'll cluster them together. But Frederick, straight off, just one simple question. How have you met these partners from Germany and from Denmark, for example? I notice we have with us certainly others from Denmark, not yet other countries from Scandinavia, but Netherlands, France, and Belgium.
Actually, it has been not a big master plan, but it has been, we have had presentations like this. That's actually how we got all our clients, both in Norway, but also Sweden and Denmark and Germany, that people heard about this way of working. And then, so in Germany, one German heard about this and said, I really want to start introducing NIBI to Germany. Same it has been in Sweden, and same we have interesting processes in the UK as well. And in Denmark, just the same. So it's not like one plan from our side, but we talk about this message and we see who's interested in both piloting, or some also want to wait until it's more mature in their country. But some people want to start piloting, and that's great.